Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Outside Iftaar broadcast, all the way from Durbanville in Capetown. For Hilaal TV, I'm Luqman Shadrack. We visit various suburbs in Cape Town and we tell you a bit more about what happens in that suburb. As we know, Durbanville, not many Muslims live in this area, and it's so fortunate that in the next couple of months, couple of years, inshallah, there will be a new mosque that will be built as well. For now, we're at the Salah Khana that is part of the Durbanville Islamic Society as well. Part of the committee and the secretary. We'd like to first chat to Brother Walid Brown and tell us a bit more about the wonderful community. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah so much for affording us your time and allowing us to be here as well. I would imagine that over the years, the need for a masjid has become more prevalent. But in the meantime, the families have bought a property in the area, and this is where you practice most of make our salah and tarawih. But give us a history on how this all came together.
Yes, alhamdulillah. We started about just over 10 years ago in 2013. We first started by getting together and forming the Tarawih Salah.
Okay.
And remember at that stage, a number of the Muslims had already been living in Durbanville for about 10, 20, sometimes 30 years. But it was the first time we made Salah in a Jamaat.
Nice.
And that was at Brother Liaquat Bai's house. May Allah grant his soul Jannatul Firdaus, inshallah. He's passed away a few years ago. And then from then we decided we need to establish a Jummah in the area. And that was significant. We had our first Jummah at the Durbanville Town Hall in the center of Durbanville. And to have Tarawih and Jummah in the area was quite an auspicious occasion. You must remember that if we lived here and to go for Jummah and Tarawih, we either had to go to Bellville South or Kuils River. It was quite an ordeal. You basically just break your fast and then you leave. So to have that in the area was a major milestone for us. And then from there we got together, we established the Durbanville Islamic Society, had a constitution. And a few years after that, in 2015, we bought this property as a Jamaat Khana. Alhamdulillah, it's been paid off in full. And at the Jamaat Khana, we have the 5 daily salahs. We have a full-time madrasa, Monday to Thursday and on a Friday now. Part of the madrasa is online. Part of it is at the Jamaat Khana.
Nice.
We have the Tarawih Salah. We have dhikr programs as well, alhamdulillah. And our main goal has always been to purchase property to establish a masjid, and that was an extremely long process, alhamdulillah. I must also say that it arose partially out of complaints we received from using this property for non-residential purposes. We had some interactions with the city, but when the city quickly realized that firstly the Muslims in Durbanville are going nowhere, I must commend them. They became very cooperative and assisted us in purchasing a property in the Durbanville CBD.
Brilliant.
That process itself took a number of years. In order to purchase property from the city, you have to jump through a number of hurdles. You have to become tax compliant. You have to be a non-profit organization, a public benefit organization. So that took some doing. It's not always the first thing that comes to mind when you establish an Islamic society, but we put in the hard yards. And we complied with their tender. And it just so happened during COVID, it was announced that we were successful in obtaining the land.
Brilliant.
From the time the land was allocated to the Durbanville Islamic Society, it took another almost 3 years and 1.8 million to purchase, to establish infrastructures, electrical, water, sewerage on the plot. Alhamdulillah, we took transfer of that property in January 2024. We can say we are now the owners of land. It's already been zoned for community purposes and for religious. Now it's just a question of raising the funds and building. But alhamdulillah, we in our 10, 11 years, we've are proud of what we've achieved so far. We started out with about 20 to 30 families. It's now grown to almost 80 families.
Brilliant.
Durbanville is quite a large area, so they're widespread, but alhamdulillah, close-knit enough to organize things.
Wonderful. It's so nice to hear, everyone pitching in to making this project work as well. And we're wishing you all the very best and may it grow from strength to strength, inshallah.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam. That's Brother Walid Brown, Secretary for the Durbanville Islamic Society, chatting to us about the history on the Jamaat Khana, the way we're actually broadcasting today. As also part of the committee, we need to understand where the project is heading, and Brother Ishaq is going to speak to us a bit more as well. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran for having us on your program.
It's my absolute pleasure. So, as Brother Waleed alluded to, was the fact that there is a land that is purchased, and now, inshallah, the building is going to start as well. For our viewers, give us more information. In terms of the mosque itself, that will service how many families in the area?
So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Shukran for having us. I must say that the constraint that we have at the moment is the property is a dwelling property. So in other words, it's a 2,000 square meter plot. So within that constraint, it's very difficult to build a masjid of size and magnitude. But alhamdulillah, what we have done with the architects and the engineers become very creative. Okay. The ground slopes, and we've taken the natural slope into account. So to take care of parking, for example, there's going to be a basement parking. So there'll be 3 phases of the project: the basement parking, and that will house something like 30 cars, but around the property itself, it's adequate space for parking for the kneeling space that has been required. The ground floor will contain the bottom area will be containing the male area. And there'll be madrasas, classrooms. There'll be an ablution block, obviously. A ghusl khana. Many of our people that live in Durbanville live in apartments. So they don't have the adequate facilities for ghusl. Okay. We've provided for that, and inshallah it will work. Then on the top floor, we also have, and we're going to be boasting a library, a multi-purpose hall, a consulting room, and the ladies section. So we'll incorporate all of that. So the 3 phases that we're talking about is the basement, the ground floor, and the first floor.
Right. How far away are we from the project breaking ground? And we've got viewers listening, and maybe inshallah somebody can come on board and assist with that as well.
We welcome that. We will really welcome that. We struggled during the SDP process and the transfer process to gain funds. And alhamdulillah, people did come on board. And when we put that 1.8 million rand together for the transfer, it was really a good moment for us. The project will cost us, as we see it now, and Waleed alluded to the fact that when you're dealing with the city, you jump through hoops. Yeah. And in the 5 years from the time that we've actually had the tender process going through, the escalation of the price from that particular time had escalated in material cost in the region of 5 million. And we had done nothing to actually put the first brick or foundation down. So the architects that we have, Parker and Jacobs, Jacobs and Parker are excellent. Jakut's the engineering. We have a QS, Rayan Fattar, that's actually done a brilliant job at doing the elemental costs. The total project would cost us in the region of about 32 million.
So that is what was needed, and we encourage our community to maybe assist where possible as well. Brother Ishaq, Jazakallah so much. All the very best. I look forward to coming back and having another broadcast from the mosque, inshallah.
Just want to say that our foundation, inshallah, will start next year. Inshallah. Our building plans are in the process of being refined and redefined, and that will go through this year, inshallah.
Jazakallah so much. My absolute pleasure. From the committee, chatting to us about the mosque that is on our doorsteps that will be built soon as well. As part of the imamate, I would like to also welcome Imam Umar Effendi. Assalamu alaikum. Imam, are you well?
Alhamdulillah wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah so much for allowing us to be here. As part of the religious, studies, functions, madrasa that happens on a weekly, monthly basis, tell our viewers a bit more.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum to the viewers as well. Alhamdulillah, we are very proud, alhamdulillah, for what has been put in as a structure. The madrasa is fully functional. Alhamdulillah, we have our assistant imam, Hafiz Abdul Rashid, who has been very, very instrumental with regards to putting the various age groups into certain divisions. And alhamdulillah, 2 years ago, we were then compelled to actually add a youth group to it. So as you can see from there, we started with with kids, as we would say. And alhamdulillah, we have now reached the age where most of our students are at high school level. Alhamdulillah, and as Brother Walid also alluded to was, alhamdulillah, we then, because of the children being committed to certain school activities and that, we have then introduced, the online classes, and alhamdulillah, it's functioning very well. And we're even fortunate to also invite students, from other areas as well, because sometimes we find that the children cannot attend, at specific times during the week. So alhamdulillah, we do have Quran reading for the children, alhamdulillah, and then and for the seniors, obviously, we have the Quran reading classes as well as, doing certain aspects of fiqh. And also now because of, the situation, the current situation, and as you know, our students are always exposed, to the current situation. For example, the situation in Palestine. So we actually teach them that and motivate them towards that as well. So alhamdulillah, we have lessons on that, alhamdulillah. And so Shar'an matters is very important for them, because as we know, everybody's got access to Google and whatever. So we need to also strengthen them to be conscious of what is Shar'an and how they should actually, make decisions in that. So alhamdulillah, we're very proud of the youth. We've got about 30 of them on class at the moment, and then the junior class as well. So alhamdulillah.
Ramadan, we do know the Jamaat Khana, services quite a few families in the area. Do you have Taraweeh and the Khufath? Are they from the area? Do they visit from neighboring areas?
Alhamdulillah, we have Taraweeh, and also what our main intention was, and we're also trying to develop our youth. And for 2 years now already, I would say, we're actually achieving that. So we've got our students of the Madrasa that they are actually reading the Asha and the Witr Salas. And then we got our assistant Imam, Hafiz Abdul Rashid. He is a Hafiz teacher. He is also part of a Hafiz school. So himself, and we've got 2 of our students of the community that lead, as well as some of the students of Hafiz Abdul Rashid. And that is how they also make muraja'ah as they go on. So alhamdulillah, and the Taraweeh programs are actually, the opportunities we have to rally the community together and then take it further from there. So alhamdulillah, we feel excited, and especially as it was also now confirmed, the ground. So inshallah, we're having a positive outlook, inshallah.
Jazakallah so much. Just under a minute left. Would Imam kindly lead us out and make a dua for us and for our viewers as well, and for definitely our brothers and sisters in Palestine as well, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا واغفر لنا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا تقبل منا صلاتنا وصيامنا وقيامنا وركوعنا وسجودنا وجميع أعمالنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah so much, Imam. All the very best to you and the community.
Inshallah, may Allah Ta'ala also guide your way forward, inshallah, and protect you as you go on from area to area, inshallah. May Allah Ta'ala also grant you keep up the good work.
Ameen.
Jazakallah. Afwan. Shukran for also honoring us with your presence.
My pleasure. And that's how we end our broadcast, the Iftar broadcast. Time to break our fast in Cape Town. Jazakallah so much for tuning in. We're back tomorrow between 5 and 7 p.m. inshallah. Jazakallah for joining us. To our gracious sponsors, Sainsbury Exotics, for getting us here on time, and also to Amiras for dressing our presenters as well. From myself, Luqman Shadrack, and the Hilaal team, have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum.
حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله